This episode is brought to you by ServiceNow. Look, I have my dream job. I watch tennis, I think about tennis, I talk about tennis, but even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. The stuff that gets in the way of the actual work. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what you should do about your busy work, they actually do it, start to finish. Cases closed, requests handled, no extra work for you. That way, you and your team can focus on the work that matters, which for me is explaining at length why tennis players are the best athletes on earth. Sorry, everyone else on earth. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. Subscribe, because, I don't know, we like it, we need it, we want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll keep doing it. JW in the house, Techie Sean, producer Mike.
What's up?
It's that old midweek special on the old 12 or 13-dayer. Here we are.
Here we are.
Let's just rock through the first round buys and all the other stuff. Obviously, the biggest story from early Rome, you know, on top of continued dominance, on top of the storylines that are kind of trending from Madrid, Sabalenka loses. Obviously a massive story, kind of shakes things up. As far as name value, Novak loses. And, you know, I guess in a headline to Earth and, you know, everyone else, I guess those are kind of the same, but I view them completely through a completely different lens. Let's deal with Sabalenka's loss to Cirstea first, JW. I haven't been worried about Sabalenka in like 5 years. Are we worried about Sabalenka?
I'd say worried-ish. It's one of these things where we look at things in patterns and in segments, right? And she loses to Hailey Baptiste in Madrid, 7-6 in the third. It's clay. It's an exciting match. And you're like, all right, you know, no one wins every match, and good for Hailey Baptiste. And then you get a second back-to-back event, another tight match, different type of player, a player at a different point in their career. We can talk a little later about Cirstea, but 7-5 in the third. So she goes down 7-6 in the third in one match, 7-5 in the third another. Suddenly, she'll be the top seed, but remember, this is one of the majors she has never won. Came very close last year. I would say worried, but I would say that the plot is certainly thickened, and I think more importantly for the rest of the field, they should get a bit of a jolt of optimism, because this is a very different discussion than what we were having 2 weeks ago. I don't know. We see this so many times, right? Where players struggle in warm-ups, and then they reset. It's a major. It's a different event, different conditions. But I don't know. Two tight losses to players, neither of whom are in the top 20, when you have just won the Sunshine Double and you're trying to, win a fifth major. I don't know. It's an interesting fact pattern, and much different than what we would have been talking about, again, 10, 14 days ago.
Can I caveat it? She did call a medical timeout midway through the third set for back and hip, and so she didn't do a press afterwards. But I mean, is there real concern that some of this is a more serious medical?
Maybe. I mean, we don't know. I mean, listen. Yeah, are we more concerned knowing that there was something? I mean, and Sabalenka is not one who's calling the trainer all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, she plays these tough matches. Her fitness levels very underreported. Like, we never say like, oh, she looks tired, ever, right? We never say like wear and tear. We never say like any of these things, because she's so primed and ready to go. I think that's why. So we have to like level set here, because people are going to go, well, you're freaking out about Sabalenka. No, it's just she's judged against her own shadow now. Mm-hmm. She's created this level of consistency that's absurd. So then all of a sudden she has two bad tournaments, and we're going, hey, it's strange. It's different. It's weird. It's not the precedent that she's set. It doesn't mean that, we need to go into full crisis mode for worrying about Sabalenka. I promise you, I worry about a lot of people a lot more than I do about her. But to JW's point, the way that it works when it you have this dominant force, and I even want to turn back the clock in the last 6 or 7 years, 8 years, maybe 9 years at Roland Garros. Let's see, 2020 was the first time Iga won. Okay, so 2020. Has it been this open as far as maybe hope, and as far as 20, 25 women? Like, if you're Noskova and you've been playing well, are you going, I can win Roland Garros? If you're Kostiuk, are you going, I can win Roland Garros? If Sabalenka's not in full form, And by the way, she can course correct that. If she makes the second week of Roland Garros, then I don't think anything matters, right? But is she more susceptible to drawing someone in an awkward matchup early on without a ton of matches? Sure, that's the way it works. That's the way, Sinner's on a roll that Sabalenka was, where she was on cruise control and she was creating a habit of just winning every other day for the Sunshine Double. Sinner's on that roll now. I mean, I guess he never gets off that roll, but what this does, it doesn't mean that Sabalenka can't win the French Open. It doesn't mean that she's not the favorite. I still think she's the clear number one favorite going into Roland Garros. I don't know that you're going to get a lot of pushback. What this does is Iga's going, okay, if I can just find some form, can I find something? I know how to do this. Arena's not playing her best. Coco is going, okay, maybe I can repeat this thing. Down the line for the women that are playing well, Pegula's winning, matches 0-0 and stuff, right? Is she going, maybe I got a shot? I think that's the ripple effect from Sabalenka. It's less about us worried about Sabalenka as a tennis player. It's more the ripple effect of, and rightfully so, the rest of the two are going, if she's not quite as perfect and good as she normally is, does that open the door for the rest of us 10 or 15%? And I think it does. Is that rational?
Totally. I was going to say the same. I mean, the point we usually go to when we have this discussion is best of 3 versus best of 5, and the sample size is bigger for the men. So, of course, the women's field is going to be open. But I would say beyond that, I think you nailed it. Go down the list and just, keep going, right? I mean, Coco is the defending champion, and Pegula is a veteran we know can play deep in majors. And Andreeva is saying, shit, I can play on. I made this semis 2 years ago. Keep going down that list. All of a sudden, you're thinking to yourself, this field is really open. I think the highest seed, tell me if I'm wrong here. I mean, you have Anisimova, who very easily could have been to the finals of this event pre-COVID, and then Kostyuk, who is coming off a heater. Those are the 2 top seeds not to have played Rome. So even the players who have pulled out of this event are contenders in Paris. And yeah, I mean, if Sabalenka is coming in physically and or mentally with a little bit of a fracture, this field gets very interesting very fast. And I think given what I'm sure we're going to talk about on the men's side, where it's, Sinner, one battle after another, Sinner on all comers, these are 2 very different fields. And I think the women's field is absolutely wide open.
Yeah, and I watched the match in Madrid start to finish with Sabalenka and Baptiste. I left that one going, Baptiste played great. That was that was great tennis.
Right.
That wasn't where we kind of lose it, but Sabalenka torches a ball up the line, which basically would have set her up for winning the match. Misses it by an inch. The swing was confident, right? Like it's there. I don't know that I felt that way watching the Cirstea match, right? I don't know that I can walk out of that going, Baptiste is strong, can handle the pace of Sabalenka, can mix it up a little bit more, is on a little bit of a heater. We love Cirstea and we certainly want to give her flowers, but that's not the type of matchup where if she's getting looks at someone's serve and if someone can't go toe-to-toe with her, that's not the type of matches those aren't the type of matches that we're used to Sabalenka losing, right? Just based on on matchup. No disrespect to Cirstea, it's just maybe a matchup that Sabalenka has traditionally felt more comfortable in, right? I'm more worried coming out of that where it's like, okay, we're going to have to build something going into Roland Garros. And, she's going to want to come out of the gates well in that tournament to not create like a little bit of, weirdness moving forward. But I just think it's open season more so. And I don't want to be a victim of the moment, more so than it's been in the last 7 years, like pre-Iga domination at Roland Garros. Because we have to remember for many, many years, and I think we forget this too quickly, it was Igor the field. And that was the conversation for a long time. Like more than half a decade. That was the conversation. Iga can get back in there, right? She's trying to find something. Do you remember when she was also trying to find something going into Wimbledon last year? Mm-hmm. She can flip it. I know she's not even close to playing as consistently well as she has in the past. It's there. Like, people are jumping off that ship too quickly, in my opinion. I think Coco's going, if I could,
about to say that.
This is like, I can find this. I beat Sabalenka last year when it was nasty conditions and I got through it. Sabalenka had a great clay court run last year into Roland Garros. Less so this time. So I think it just creates that ripple effect of hope, I think, for the rest of the tour. I'm not worried about Aryna Sabalenka as a tennis player. Listen, she's still going to win. My major count for her isn't dependent on losing a match to Cirstea in Rome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it does, and it should create a little bit more optimism if you're the rest of the field.
I mean, honestly, if she is battling some back and hip issues, right?
She has time.
The time off is probably going to be for her benefit.
She has time.
And she's not going to play, I mean, Novak is another story. Remember last year, Novak played, I think it was Geneva, and he beat Hurkacz, and he played that week. Sabalenka ain't playing until Roland Garros. So she's got, she's got 2 weeks. Sabalenka, I mean, I do want to spare 90 seconds for Cirstea, who I find fascinating. But one more thing about Sabalenka real quick. You would never in a million years say she chokes or she's mentally sort of mentally fragile. You would never say that. For as much as she wins, for as much as she plays deep reliably into majors, and yet, man, does she win a lot? Does she lose a lot of tight matches? I mean, we've seen some players who they just won't show up, and top players, Simona Halep routinely would drop sets like 6-2, 6-2. Sabalenka doesn't do that, but go back and look at her results, and when she loses, there are a lot of matches that are just razor's edge matches, and she gets the small end of the 7-5 or the 7-6 in the third. It's just, I mean. It's a really interesting fact pattern to me because she wins a lot of tight matches. She's mentally as tough as they come, but she loses a lot of tight matches too.
She never loses easily. I'll tell you that. Like to your point, like she never the last time you saw her lose like 2 and 3.
Right.
Like it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But to your point, JW, she plays high risk tennis. Like it's not as if she's out there, finding her groove and putting balls in play. Every single ball is like, there's intent. Like, if you can get her to 5-all, she's gonna go after it. She's gonna miss sometimes. And I agree with this. In her calculation, that's gonna be the most successful pattern over time. Right? Does she dial it back in those moments? No. Should she? No. Is she gonna miss sometimes? Yep. Like that's what high risk does. It's not as if she's a safety player. Like, it happens. But like you drop a couple of them, we're humans. We don't get a free pass on circumstance, right? Like you get her to 5-all and she's lost some matches. That's gonna, encourage people to try to kind of hang in there a little bit more. I think two things can be true, right? It's just, and also we need to say this about Sabalenka, and then I want John to talk about Cirstea for a second before we get on to Novak. But Sabalenka, she's kind of always there. Like I'm just not going to worry about her too much. There's going to be some ebbs and flows, but she's going to be fine. This is her worst surface.
That's crazy.
Like this is her worst surface. Like that. We do need to say that.
Right.
Like we used to be able to before everyone was like a multi-surface genius, which wasn't the case until the last, even 10 years. This is her worst service, and we still expect her to be the favorite. That's not totally normal, or hasn't been normal in the past. This is her worst service. This is the part of the year where if you're going to get her, you should get her.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. Anyways.
She's still your favorite.
Yeah, I don't know how she's not the favorite for Roland Garros.
No, you're right.
I dare listen. If any of you said I'll take this single player against Saba, I said okay, let's empty our wallets, no problem. Like I got that covered, no sweat.
Right.
Now her versus the field, maybe you take the field, and that hasn't always been the case in the last 2 years when you're going into events. But yeah, it's definitely shifted. Listen, Novak loses. I know it's a big storyline. He loses to a quality.
Did you want to have him talk about Cirstea first?
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Yes, that's what I meant. I meant not Novak. I meant Cirstea. JW, please.
They're very hard to keep apart. No, I'm fascinated by this. Okay, so here comes Sorana Cirstea. I'll tell you a quick story. Remember Adidas used to do those camps in Las Vegas with Gil Reyes and Darren Cahill, I believe. I hate attributing quotes to people who may not have said it, but I believe it was Darren Cahill who's like, we've got a girl here. She's this was like almost 20 years ago. Keep an eye on Sorana Cirstea. Big hitting Romanian. Roland Garros quarterfinalist 2009. And she's had her share of injuries. She sort of had a bit of an up and down career. She's 36 years old now. She has said this is my last year. And she won again today. She may well hit her top ranking. You know, when you used to say it's my last year, it would sort of we'd give you a roll, we'd give you the rocking chair and you'd make the rounds and everybody would you'd lose your match and you'd get a little gift from the tournament. Lately, we've seen players, we saw it with Danielle Collins a few years ago, saying it's my last year has been this weird, like, career rocket fuel. Do you have thoughts on that? I mean, is it just something as simplistic as like the pressure's off and now I can go for broke? But anyway, Sorana Cirstea is 36 years old and is perhaps playing the best tennis for her career. This is the biggest win of her career. And it's just it's funny to me that players say, you know what, I'm winding things down, and all of a sudden they're putting up these crazy results.
Yeah, I guess the fuck it mechanism comes in. It's like, fuck it. Let's let it rip. Now the question is, and this is just pure projection of curiosity. If you're at 36 and you start playing really well, I don't know. Like, dude, it's JW, Mike, take it right now. Do we see Cirstea at the Australian Open in 2027?
Oof. I mean, she's 23-7, I think, this year with a singles title already. Like, why not keep going?
I'm if I have, like, push comes to shove, I'm going yes. JW?
Honey, it's my last hand of blackjack, I swear. I just split aces. Like, yeah. I mean, honestly,
she's getting 2-6 and doubling down, 2-6s and doubling down right now.
All of a sudden, like, shit, my stack just got higher. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we saw the same thing with Danielle Collins, different set of circumstances, but yeah, why walk away when you're playing this level of tennis? And Sorana Cirstea is bringing it.
Yeah, listen, props to her. Way to go. It's a fun story. It's going to be interesting to see, will she, won't she, the rest of the way? I don't know. I'm sure she's getting asked about it. I haven't seen the follow-ups and the quotes, and I'm sure she'll keep saying this is my last year because it seems to be good for business. But anyways, cool story. Good job. Fantastic work against Sabalenka. One of the best parts about life on tour, genuinely, was the travel. Every week, a new city, new culture, new spots that I think about. I still think about these spots. There's a restaurant in Wimbledon Village that I've been going back to for 20 years. That's what the tour does to you. And here's the thing nobody talks about enough. Some of the best memories you make out there aren't even on the court. It's the random Tuesday night with your team somewhere you've never been before. That's the stuff that sticks. So, Served is heading to London. We're going on the ground for Wimbledon, doing our quick serve coverage right from a beautiful home near Wimbledon Village, a home that we found on Airbnb. And honestly, it's exactly what we need. A real home base with plenty of room for family and friends to settle in. It even has an English garden, which I think is just like a normal garden, but it's in England. Listen, over the next few months, fans like me are going to be flooding into cities like London, Paris, and Montreal to catch tennis action live. Hotels fill up fast, so if you're in one of those cities or anywhere else on the tour calendar and you're planning to be away, you can list your place on Airbnb and help meet the demand while making a little extra on the side. Your place might be exactly what a visiting fan, like me, is looking for. Not just somewhere to stay, but part of the whole trip, the matches, the city, the atmosphere, and the memories that stick long after the tournament's over. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host. We're not worried about Novak at this point, right? Like, he's kicking tires, he's kicking rust off, and then all of a sudden, are you more worried than I am about it, JW? I mean, I guess it has to give out at some point, right?
You know what? I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about it. This match prep, you can't just rock up to best of 5 unless you're Novak. I don't know.
We said the same. I mean, I could rewind our show from last year at this point, and maybe we try it, and I bet we would be having the same conversation.
I mean, can we state he lost, in the second round, right? He lost.
It's 4-3 to a qualifier.
Yeah, to a 20-year-old Croatian qualifier, right? And he's just like, whatever.
I mean, I don't like. It takes a certain level of confidence to not. I mean, you're going in there. He hasn't had match prep. We don't know what he's been doing, right? Like, I don't think he's gonna rock up. But I mean, last year he did the same thing. Lost to someone. It was Tabilo, or was that 2 years ago? Anyways, he's been rocking up and losing in these small tournaments, and then he gets to the semis of every Grand Slam. So, like right now, JW, is he in the semis of Roland Garros? I promised myself I wouldn't bet against him again, so I just can't do it. But is he in the semis of Roland Garros?
if you were going to handicap this field right now, let's timestamp this. This is an Advance of Rome fan. He's number 2. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all right, flip side. Can I be the ogre here? Can I be the jerk? If he loses,
sure, that'd be a great change of pace.
If he loses, all right. If he does not do what he's done the last 4 majors, if he loses to some unseeded player in the first round or 2, do you think he says, you know what? It's been a hell of a ride. I mean, if you can still rock up to majors and make semifinals and finals the way he has been consistently, great. But at some point, you need some match play, don't you? I mean, I do.
I would, but I mean, he's like a part-time tennis player who's still top 4 in the world all the time when he shows up. Like
I'll tell you something else. This is unprecedented. I mean, I looked even Serena. I mean, go back and this is unprecedented though. The way for basically 2 years now, he's like, I'm playing when I want,
But he's losing all. It's not as if he's playing when he like the difference was Serena's like, I'm going to play when I want, but I'm still making the semis and off weeks, non-slam tournaments and winning those.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's not like, it's been a minute.
That's what I mean.
I mean, he won at the end of last year and then basically, shook hands. I remember shook hands with Musetti. He's like, nah, bro, I ain't going to World Tour Finals. Like my season's over. So he's won some tournaments, but like Master Series and places where he's like, been dominant in the past. He's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's never been anyone, I don't think, that rocks up to a tournament, loses to a 20-year-old qualifier, and we're going, they're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
like we're good.
After the match, he said it. Obviously, I see what I'm missing. Late half a step. I'm not definitely where I want to be for the highest level and to compete at the highest level and to be able to go far. And then later was asked if he felt confident he'd be in good shape for Roland Garros. He replied, I don't know. I hope so.
I mean,
just like,
yeah, I mean, I
like he's rope-a-doping the world right now. Probably, I feel like
he played 6 matches in Australia, right? And
beat Sinner. He beat Sinner.
Beat Sinner and won 6 matches and took the first. We forget this too. 6-2 over Carlos in the first season. The guy's like, and then he wins two matches at Indian Wells, and that's his winning. He's won 2 matches since Australia. Now he's going to try to win a 25th major. I give him all the credit in the world. This is unprecedented.
It's absurd. It's like he's going. All right, all you idiots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why don't you all bet against me?
Yeah.
Do it. Like he needs someone to come out and say like he's cooked, and then he'll make. And then if someone comes out and just says he's Cookie Magoo, then I'll bet on him to take the finals.
Oh my gosh.
He's pretty good at manufacturing things to be chippy about. So we'll see where he goes. But I mean, we got to think that he's got to get some matches before Roland Garros, right? I mean, he can't just cruise in.
You think he plays Geneva again?
He did it last year and it worked. Like, I think so. I would, again, like, I might be down 20 just on my thoughts on this episode, but like, I mean, I think you have to play something. Like, I think you have to go get 3 or 4 matches, but then it's like, it's a year on. Can he go play 5 matches in Geneva and then rock up 2 days later and play another tournament? You're basically, essentially putting yourself in a position where if things go well, you're playing 3 weeks in a row. I mean, I cannot, I won't, I've put too much stock and the bottom's going to fall out at some point.
Yeah.
You can't be 44 and not playing and then just rocking up and going semis. And
there you are with that word can't. There you are with that word can't. Watch me.
He said, the world says I can't do it when I'm 44.
You said can't?
You said I can't do it when I'm 44. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, the draw's going to come out, and I'm going to see it, and it's going to be the same thing. If he gets to the first 3, then he's going to win the round. It's just like, it's going to be the same shit over and over.
I know, and then
it's great.
You have guys like Arthur Feast, right? Like that just withdrew with a
so I got
hip
a question
injury.
For you.
And it's not like the field is
so
stacked.
Obviously, massive when Carlitos says, I'm not playing Roland Garros, right? So then shifts even more to Sinner. Since then, rolls in Madrid, during your meeting, he won 2-0 against Popperin.
Yeah.
This is Monday.
Our morning
This will
meeting,
come
he
out
won.
Tuesday. Like the morning meeting lasted longer than his match.
Yeah, my coffee was finished brewing, and I was like, "It's over."
Yeah, it's like, and now you look at like the people that we've kind of built up as like that next tier, right? Fils has been playing amazingly well. Sinner took care of him very handily in Madrid, like 2-4, and it was like maybe not that close. Is hurt a little bit. Like his hip didn't feel right, and hopefully he gets healthy and is ready, and it's minor. Draper, it's been a minute. He hasn't kind of found his footing again, but like someone like a Draper, Zverev, I mean, I don't know that we can sit here and say, anyone can say like, oh yeah, let's make the format longer and that'll help his chances against Jannik. Right? I mean, so I got a question for you, JW.
Draper's out of the French Open.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's like crazy.
Well, what I'm saying is like,
I see what you're saying.
all
Sorry.
these people that are like this next thing, Carlos goes down and then he becomes a heavy favorite. I think he's only become more of a favorite based on circumstance. Like Novak is going, I don't know. Are you ready for the run? Nah, fuck it. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. And JW's going, he's second favorite. If he's second favorite undercooked, or Zverev is like, you know, he's the most likely to get to a final or a semi, but that matchup doesn't look like it's getting any better. I got a question for you, JW.
Oh, man.
Is Sinner as heavy a favorite going into Roland Garros as Rafa used to be going into Roland Garros, specifically this year?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, man.
Get that headline ready, Techie Sean.
That's a good one.
Here
Wait,
it comes.
Thanks for the lead.
Here it is. Here's the short in 3 days.
I'm going to say no for 3 reasons.
Okay.
You want them?
No, I'd like that to be the end of the segment.
Can you do the wild? I know. Let's go. Sorana, Cirstea, step right up. What else we got to discuss? No, I think it's a great question. I think the guy's never even won this event before. I think it's a little hard to. I mean, the favorite, absolutely, a Rafa-level favorite when he's never won before. I also think I would not want to be in a showdown match against 39. You know what's a week from Friday? I was just looking this up. A week from Friday is the draw, I believe. It's also Novak's 39th birthday. 39. If Jannik Sinner, Novak Djokovic on the other side of the net, a showdown 25th major on the line, oldest major champion in history, everything that goes with it, and this is the guy who beat you. I think Jannik wants Novak to lose almost as much as Novak wants Sinner to lose. And then I just think like weight of the occasion in Europe, like let's not shortchange just how dominant Rafa was. I mean, I do think Sinner is the overwhelming favorite. I think he's against the field. I mean, this Rafa was basically like, who's playing for second place, boys? I don't know. I think mostly he's never won the event before.
I'm not saying that the comparison is over 20 years at the event. I'm saying in a silo with, I mean, you could argue his next 5 challengers are all compromised in some way, shape, or form. Right? Like
how many straight sets has he won against Zverev now? Imagine going
77. Like
it's absurd.
That's what I'm saying. Number, like yes. It's not to me the conversation, because you don't want to be disrespectful to Rafa. He's the best I've ever seen on any surface, and to me it's not close. Right? Like I don't know that you can go, and I know everyone is like, well, Alcaraz and Sinner would beat him up. No. The lefty of things and where you have to, even with as dominant as Sinner has been, no. Right? This isn't me saying this isn't a Sinner versus Rafa conversation. This is if Rafa's 90% to go through, 80, 90% to go through, you're telling me Sinner's not that right now? JW?
It's a big number. I'm in the
It
bag
ain't going to be 102 degrees. His Voldemort doesn't exist in Paris.
Wait, hold on. That was my third factor. First, I mean, again, like none of this is to diminish Sinner. Let's be clear. I mean, this run he's on is just a joke. That disclaimer out of the way. Never won the event before. I do think better call Sol, SOL, for the rest of the field. That's my pun for the day. I do think the heat on a hot day is a variable, but also, wait, see, go back to this point, though. we saw this at the Paris Olympics, right? I mean, a motivated, locked in, like, lion tamer. I mean, Novak goes into a showdown match against Sinner, 39 years old. This is what I'm out here for. This is my opportunity. The other guy's not even posting. I beat this guy at the last major. I mean, imagine the pep talk Novak would give himself.
Yeah, I know.
You're not buying that?
Here's what I think. More time on the ball, less secure footing when you're giving up half a step is not a better situation than Australia, where Sinner went 2 for a million on break points and you went like 5 for 7. Like, you took the narrow margins and you threaded the needle and won 6-3 or 6-4 in the fifth, right? And you kind of had to thread that needle. I think those margins on clay versus Sinner right now, specifically in this matchup, not to say a Sinner's a better clay quarter than prime Novak, so don't get it twisted. The margins for Novak in a path to beat him 3 out of 5 sets, specifically on clay, when Sinner will have more time on the ball to create speed, I think the margins are even narrower for Novak in that scenario. So I think it would be a bigger upset at the French Open than it would be at Australia for Novak against Sinner. So I know the question I asked you is ridiculous on premise. And then when I go through like the X's and O's of who, what, where, why, I don't know. I mean, he's in a silo purely this year. This isn't a Rafa, this isn't a representation of Rafa over the course of 15 years. This is a purely based on this person going in, are they the favorite based on what the field is giving back to him right now? I don't know. I don't think it's a nutty question. I want
to add this up in my head real quick. This is what happens when we just riff and we don't necessarily prepare. Maybe you guys can help me. Can you name me another major tournament in recent memory where the 1 seed has not only beaten the 2 seed, 9 times in a row, but has won 13 straight sets against the guy who's obligated on the other side of the draw to try and beat him?
Unfortunately, I probably can.
Keep oh, come on.
I'm going carry the 2, fuck, like 5-ish maybe. I don't, yeah, this, yeah. If there's an answer, I could probably find it in the mirror. Let's break. We'll come back afterwards and I'll clean up my tears.
We'll talk some Fonseca.
AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents. All right, and we're back from breaks. Served. ServiceNow. Subscribe. Mike, you were referencing Fonseca loses to Hamad Medjedovic.
Yes.
But water's wet and the Brazilians were going.
I mean, the scene was absolutely
the
scene was absolutely absurd. I mean, I think on the socials it was more about when the guy beat Fonseca, he gave the sleep. He put them all to sleep.
Yeah.
But it's because
the old Steph Curry.
Yeah, the old Steph Curry. But for 2.5 hours, this Brazilian crowd in Rome was absolutely absurd. Sean, play this clip. This is Fonseca serving 5-5 in the third. He's getting the tennis balls right now. For you guys listening on audio, it's 5-5 in the third. This is the crowd, and the scene is like people. I mean,
it's like a music festival.
It looks like a freaking music festival. The players are coming back to the baselines right now. This is still going.
Medvedev has him. I'm just saying that he's got like some almost like Karatsev calves there, by the way. Also,
Fonseca is serving right now. Like, he's hitting the ball right now. Crowd's still going nuts.
I mean, this is so much fun.
This is so much fun. Rock star stuff.
I want to be in that, like, on either side of it, by the way.
Like, it's incredible. And granted, both players were like, afterwards, were like, this is a little frustrating. Both players said that, but that's amazing.
And it's not, and the thing is like, that's what you want to play in. Like, those types of atmospheres is like, put it in my veins. I'm either going to be the guy who shot Bambi, or I'm like, everyone loves me. Like, that's a great situation to be in. Can we say that?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get canceled at some point. Hopefully not this week. Yeah, I mean, that's not easy if you're Fonseca too.
He alluded to that at the end.
He talked about that. Yeah, he said that.
It's this thing where he doesn't have he can't like melt into being a top 10 player. Like, it's just this craziness, and we're seeing it with like Fonseca, and we're seeing it with Yala, and we're seeing like these silos of borderline obsession before people are like top 5 players. And then you get to like, I'm curious your thoughts on those silos, JW, and like, have we seen it before? Is it unprecedented? Are we just acting like it's new and it's been there before? Are there reasons? And then also, we keep saying how popular Sinner is in Italy. And Fognini, and by the way, all of you who are like, why are you calling Fognoni? I go, because I've called him Fognoni for 20 years in the locker room. Shut up. I know how to say his name. God, you so...
Thank you for all those comments. I loved screen grabbing them and sending them to Andy.
Oh, I was just... I'm like, I know how... what do you think they say? Advantage what? Oh, God.
Fognini.
Well, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful
All
when
right.
you go...
All right.
Okay, sorry. Side tangent, but JW, just give us a couple of little nuggets on this craziness still around Fonseca. The Yala movement are the two most obvious
These
ones.
people are all like 20 years old, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
Like,
as if they're Grand Slam champions like it. Like, and then Sinner getting higher ratings than soccer in Italy. Like, this is crazy. How much fun is this for tennis?
I was going to say, to take a step back, don't we want this?
Yes!
Wouldn't there be something really weird if players were playing behind like pastures of empty seats and quiet crowds, and Sinner was doing what he's doing and not popular in Italy? We love this. I think with we were talking about this on Tennis Show. The only one comp I could really come up with was Anna Kournikova, where the reception and the popularity was wildly disproportionate to the achievements and the results. That was always kind of like icky, and whatever, you could laugh at the frat row that said like marry me, but it was a little icky. I think this is like just good fun. The Philippines starving for a champion, and here comes this polished young woman who's arrowing up the top, arrowing up the rankings. Great, love it. Same with Fonseca. I think, he talked about it. It was funny because it was sort of this double speak. I mean, he sort of talked about the Brazilian crowds doing him no favors, and he sort of meant in like, I toss the ball up in the air and I hear the crowd noise too, and I'm also here. I'm distracted when they yell out during points. I think there's a much more macro point to be made of, I'm not sure it's great for his development to be this much of a rock star. And, I think he was like, I don't know, he was like the 27th seed in Rome, and he's getting this rock star treatment. And I think, he may need a little bit of a gap, a little more space between him and the crowd before he sort of fulfills everything that they have in store for him. But no, I think on balance, it's great. And I think players sometimes, the atmosphere was dead out there, or, they put me on second to last and there wasn't a crowd. Anyway, I get it. It's 5-all in the third set. You're trying to concentrate and you don't need, the samba playing. But I think just big picture, what a great atmosphere. How great that tennis has these sort of traveling fan segments. And again, I think about Ayala and I'm thinking like, here's this country starved for sports success, and they have completely taken to her. Ride that train. And yeah, maybe she's playing on bigger crowds than her rankings should govern, but I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, I don't know. I think Sinner, we sometimes sleep a little bit on him. I was writing, he's not Carlos Electricity, right? And he's not having Twitter beefs, and he's not saying outrageous comments in press conferences. And he's not
like 0%, just so we're clear. That's not a negative. He is 0% thirsty for anything past just winning. He is 0% thirsty. Some people go get clicks. He doesn't give a shit about clicks, I don't think. Maybe that's the point.
He does. He just recently did a funny coffee commercial, right? He's doing stuff with Bocelli. He's getting mentioned by F1 drivers. Like, he is transcending just the simplicity of tennis, but he's doing it without being thirsty,
he's the
right?
Pope.
Yeah,
he's the Pope's favorite player.
Yeah. But he's doing it just in like a swaggy, cool, like chill way.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
One thing we always say a lot is like, don't be who you're not, right? If you're not the outrageous guy, like, don't get in Nick Kyrgios Twitter beefs. I think the other part to this is, I think some of this is just very calculated. It's not in the interest of my best tennis to be outrageous and go advertise my social life on social media. I mean, I think some of it is just, it is who he is. And if you talk to people in the town where he's from, or if you talk to some of his young coaches, even some of the ski instructors, this is very consistent with his personality. But I also think he's made a decision. Look, I'm trying to win tennis matches here. I'm not trying to get likes and follows. And it's not in service of my best tennis to have Twitter beefs. But in Italy, he's playing in a fifth major right now. And I think sometimes I think sometimes we didn't recognize that, like when Rafa played Barcelona and Madrid. This is a big tournament for him. Remember, last year didn't go quite as he had wanted to in Rome. This is a huge event for him, and he's getting treated like the biggest sports star in the country, which is basically what he is.
Yeah. But the other thing that I think we need to, because you say one thing where he's not like, Carlos walks in and like is looking at everyone. I think Sinner walks in, he's head down and goes about his business, and there's a difference. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. But the other thing I want to differentiate, when we talk about Jannik, like you see him in interviews, he's not giving you zero like Lendl or, like strategically zero like a Lendl or a Pete or any of the other players who just didn't want to speak. Mm-hmm. He's funny.
He's funny.
Like he gives a thing, they're talking about, the Bumble. He's like, I don't need that. Like
the Bumble dating app thing. It was
like
hilarious.
He gives you, it's not as if he's giving you nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like that's far from what it is. It's just, he's going, I am this guy. I don't need extra. Mm-hmm. Right? Like he's not the same as what we've seen before. He's very warm. He's very professional. He doesn't give you one word answers. That's not him at all. So it's different than maybe we would have described those players from the past in a similar way. It's not that at all. It's just, he's not extra and thirsty. Like it seems like he's very comfortable, and it seems like, the North Star is always just the tennis.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's able to simplify, compartmentalize, and
I would love to see him play like in an early matchup, have to go up against a Fonseca with this like energy and this crowd.
But that's the thing. He can deflate.
I would just love to see that so much because as a sports fan that that came from outside of the tennis, I just love the raucous nature that it's bringing. And we had asked a poll question last week coming out of Madrid. We had asked in the newsletter and on socials, which breakout player from Madrid would continue the run in Rome, and we had said Rafael Jodar, Haley Baptiste, Alexander Blocks, Anna Potapova, and 51% said Jodar.
Surprised it wasn't higher.
And I think. The question is, right, is like these young stars, like he also is 20 years old.
Yep.
What are we seeing from these young stars tennis-wise? If maybe Fonseca and maybe Yal are on the move up, but then what are you seeing from guys like Jodar?
To be fair, there's no space between Fonseca's ranking and Jodar's right now.
Yeah.
I think they're about the same.
I think Jodar will be higher going into the.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not as if they're separated now. Like he's made up a year and a half of ground in 6 months on another blue chip prospect, Fonseca. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I'm watching him. I watched him this week. He's able to create like short balls where people are lunging. He has this massive forehand, but he takes this backhand. He takes a full cut. He splits the difference between the middle hash mark and the sideline, and people are lunging. He has such easy power. He is overpowering grown-ups right now, right? His serve is good. Like, it's not great for someone his size. It goes pretty straight. It's a standard kick second. The depth that he gets on his average shot, I mean, he hits a forehand with shape, and it's hard, and it's eating up the baseline. He just takes full cuts on his backhand to where you have to defend this thing, knowing you have to defend it away from this shot that's upcoming with his forehand. And, you're seeing people lunge. Arnaldi, I watch it. Like, he would take these cuts, middle of the road backhand, but with pace, and Arnaldi's hitting, like, lunging and hitting a chip forehand. Right? Like, it's just, he's got some power. Like, big power, and just because he's not, like, grunting and it doesn't look hard, dude, he is creating some massive pace out there. Not just, like, he goes flat on the back end, and his forehand ball flight is heavy. I mean, I don't know how you get away from that.
6'3", 154 pounds.
That's what it's listed at.
I take the over on a 154, by the way.
Yeah. Apparently, he hasn't been on a scale since he was 17.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But listen, those long levers and being able to control it, and there's room for upside. But he's able to blow people back with his second most powerful shot, and you kind of have to get out of jail from there. He's eating up the middle of the court with his backhand, and then taking control and can hit an aggressive forehand each way. Like, there's very few that are going to be able to deal with that. Like, I got another crazy one for you, JW. This is nuts, what I'm about to say.
Rafa Nadal is my answer. What do you got?
You got the Rafa part right. Okay, is he on the next contenders at Roland Garros? Like, we just went through. I mean, who's playing better than him right now?
Yeah, I know. This is a crazy story.
Seriously, think about it. Like, who would if I gave you a list of 10 people and you take Zverev out for consistency, just knowing that he'll probably get through 3 out of 5, but like, I don't know, if you give me 7 players past Sinner right now to make the quarters or semis, I think he's on that list. Is he a favorite against, any seed, a lot of the seeds in the top 8 right now? Yep, I do.
Totally. Remember what I was talking about with the women, how you go down the list and you're like, oh, Coco's a defending champ. Iga, Roland Garros, we were talking about her in the same breath as Chris Evert. If you just go, Andreeva, she can play on clay. Jess Pagoulis, go down the list. It's not that way with the men. Like, I don't know, is Felix getting out of week 1? He won a title in Germany, but Ben Shelton hasn't looked great in these last 2 matches back. Medvedev has lost love and love. Like, there's some holes in those. Medvedev's lost on the surface double bang.
I don't know.
The short answer to your question is yes. And I tell you what else I read into. So Jodar, he's 19. He's born in Madrid, right? He goes, he plays his tournament. It has this great event, beats Fonseca, night sessions, smokes Dimonor, plays tough against Jannik. Great story. The fact that he would come back at the very next tournament, and as we timestamp this, he's about to play Lerner Tien, which is another interesting match. Actually beat him at that next gen a few months ago. But the fact that he's backed it up and is still winning matches, I read a lot into that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can you name 8 players you would put of Jodar right now?
No.
I can't.
No.
I can't.
No. And that's not just, it's just, it's what I'm seeing with pace of shot. He can go out and beat someone like Demon and like overwhelm him. Like, there's not that many people that can do it. He looks dialed. I like his temperament. He doesn't take points off. Weird, being his name is Rafa. But like, pace of shot, he's able to overpower people without taking crazy risks. Like, he's hitting to big parts of the court, and it's just swallowing people. No is the answer. I do not take 8 other people as favorites to get to the last 4 over Jodar right now. I don't. And I know that's nuts, and I'm normally not a victim of the moment. I'm just telling you from what I'm watching on television. Even Arnaldi, like, he played great the first set. Arnaldi, let it get away from him and then dialed it back in. I don't know. No is my answer.
I mean, he could find himself in the semis pretty quickly here in Rome. I mean, he has Tien, and then if he wins that match, he's taking on Zverev or Darderi.
I want to see Jodar and Zverev. I want to see that matchup. I want to see how he returns a serve that big. I want to see how he deals backhand
to backhand.
Correct. Yep. Backhand to backhand. And if he can create that pace off of the only person that can handle Zverev's backhand in the depth and like the ball flight is Jannik. I want to see that. Listen, we're gonna go to break. But I'm long on Jodar right now for this specific tournament. Grass, everything resets. We don't know what's going on. I'm not putting him in the top 5 tomorrow. He's trending that way, but I don't know. I don't like 6 or 8 people more than him at Roland Garros right now, just based on form or injuries or some version of that. Where are we talking after the break? Boycotts?
Yeah, well, we just some fan reactions to the boycott conversation. I wanted to get your guys' POV on.
Okay, we will be back after the break with boycott news. Yay!
Jodar.
All right, welcome back to Serve, brought to you by Service Now. What do we got?
Well, I mean, obviously there was news breaking all last week about the Players Project Red Eye and the threats of boycotts and what that would look like. And I think a lot of the fan reactions to that and a lot of the questions back to us could have been summed up in something like, but what really is the value that's missing, right? Like if right now they're at 15% and they want to get to 22%, what is in that 7%? Like, where is that money coming from? And ultimately, I think, it's a broad question. You're right. Like what is the 7% that Roland Garros can't give them? Why can't the U.S. Open that gives them $74 million?
Well, you're assuming they
give
can't.
them 93.
You're
That's
assuming
the question from them.
Okay, you're assuming can't as opposed to aren't.
Like, and I think like when we looked at it, like the U.S. Open did 70-some million last year. They did, or in 2024, I think was the prize money. They did $420 million in revenue. If they were to do 22%, that's $93 million, right? Like how can you not make up that gap? What is being spent? What is that being spent on that it can't be spent on the players, which are the center of all of this?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the ultimate question.
That's one way to frame it. Yeah.
There's a renovation going on, so hopefully,
I throughout the U.S. Open as anybody, just the slams in general.
Here's a couple things. All right, so there's a lot of talk about boycott. Let's just think this through, because I've thought this through for 20 years. I had, I've talked about on the show before. I had the most marketable 20 men, and I say marketable meaning like Safin was ranked 70 at the time, but obviously he's one of the 20 most important in the game. Peridon Shrishafan was the biggest player in Asia, so his voice was in the room. So it wasn't necessarily like the best 20 on rankings, and it's basically like we hold the cards. So I know this like kind of for sure. It would be idiotic to boycott the French Open and then short side yourself for negotiations and lock yourself into a 3-week negotiation before Wimbledon comes up. Because if you boycott the French Open and then Wimbledon comes up and you don't have a deal yet, it's going to be like after the US Open, you have 3-4 months. In Australia is on in the middle of the night in most places of Earth. It ain't going to be the French Open. That would be like absurdly dumb.
Well, I don't think they were saying that they would do it today. I think they're just saying.
I mean, all the storylines like we can boycott. We should boycott the French. No, it's not going to happen. You're not going to boycott Wimbledon because then you have 6 weeks until the U.S. Open. Like you need space to negotiate after an extreme action, right? So like I don't see that, and a lot of other people are like, well, they're just going to take this and they're just supposed to pay them out. I go, what if the revenue goes down? I'm like, okay, what's a percentage basis?
Yeah,
then the revenue goes down also. They're not demanding $400 million and a flat fee. It's a percentage of revenue that is being demanded, right? So I don't know. Like,
I mean, that's how the NFL salary cap's calculated, right? They look at revenue on the previous year, and then they calculate how much money they can give them the next year. Like, I think that should be really what it is on a rolling basis. But some of the questions we had in the our morning meeting were like and maybe this will be our new poll question this week is, should we see the tours, kind of live up and officially step up and be like, you know what, slams, we are on the player side on this. That is our roles, and you guys need to get to 22%. We've done it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much of this is just labor economics? And, you're not going to, you could pay your babysitter $100 an hour, and what would that come out of? But if she'll work for $20, that's what you pay her or him. I think one dirty secret in all this, I mean, first of all, let's be clear. The majors still pay way more than the other events. So it's sort of like, hey, tour is good for you, but if you really care so much about the players, why don't you jack up the prize money at your events? The other dirty secret, I think, what I hear from agents a lot is so many of these endorsement contracts have bonuses for winning and playing majors and penalties critically for missing majors. There's a lot more at stake here than just a couple $100,000 extra for X number of top players. But no, I mean, this is the same discussion tennis has been having forever. Yes, if you look at this like other sports, if you look at this from a fairness perspective, the players ought to be making more of the gross revenue. And until they show that they're willing not to play, the big tournaments don't really have a lot of incentive to give. I don't know. I mean, you tell me, Andy, is it more complicated than that?
Well, you mentioned the tours stepping up. So there's a couple of things. We represent the players. All right, great. Then shorten the season. Deal with your number one complaint first. That would give you a lot more credibility in the room with the players. Right? We've been asking for this for I don't know how long. Do we have to boycott World Tour finals to get what we want? Like I think you have to fix your backyard before and so like if I'm going to be critical, I have to point out the tours are paying out to, and John kind of was dancing around it. The tours pay out a much bigger percentage with much lower revenues. Right. So just they are overextending way more than the slams. right? And what can the tours actually do? You're going to withhold points from Grand Slams?
That's kind of something we were talking about, right? I mean, like, what if they were to take the 2,000 points and assign it to Rome? Because Rome decided to do 25%.
Then Jannik would still be ranked number 1 and Carlos would still be ranked number 2.
That's what I'm saying. But then the French Open wouldn't be worth anything.
You're the tours. You're going to blow up your relationship. Like, that's like Tito demanding a solo in the Jackson 5. Like, you're going to blow up your relationships with, the last time they withheld points and I think the tours are doing a good job. And also forever, the tours, like the representation was on their council was 3-3 and then tie-breaking vote basically went to the tours.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they have this thing where like we're going to be the players, good angel on this one. Like, fix your schedule.
Maybe that's the problem.
And they're trying to buy back tours and remedy that. But listen, they are doing stuff with pensions. They are doing stuff with healthcare. They are paying.
The tours.
Yes, they're paying more with less.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're kind of putting up. Right. Could they be more vocal publicly? Sure.
Maybe
do they actually have something they can do to? Here's what you're basically saying. We're going to ignore outreach from the biggest stars in the world. But then some suit from the tour is going to go, you guys should do this. And they're going to go, okay.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it.
You're going to threaten ranking points? That hurts your tour.
It'd be in conjunction.
Then your tour is a farce. It's like, okay, you have this ranking system, but you haven't included the major winners.
Point.
It's fucked up. No, everyone's going to go, yeah, your ranking sucks. Like, this isn't a real Novak's. Okay, take this. Here we go.
Exactly.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
What's Novak's ranking?
Novak's ranking in this scenario would probably not be top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's 80. We're happy with that's the solution. That's realistic. No.
Wouldn't it in fantasy land over here? Market forces or powerful forces. Wouldn't it be nice if the majors just gave a little here and said, listen, guys, we're still paying way more than any other event on tour. Listen, guys, you've got all these endorsement bonuses. You're not going to skip. We're going to give you 2%. And maybe after that, we can reassess. We're not going to hit your number. We're not going to stand. Let's just come in from the margins and avoid a PR disaster. We don't want bad relations. In good faith, we're going to give you 2% more of gross revenue. And we avoid, these events are never going to get boycotted. Maybe a few of the top players are. You know what? There's a guy ranked 38 who would love a chance to call himself a Wimbledon champion. I think you got to understand what your leverage is here. It would just be nice if the majors said, you know what, as a show of good faith, we probably don't have to do this, but because it's the right thing to do, we're going to come in a little bit.
Okay, so we say that as if that's total Peter Pan. We say that and they just dropped it.
Yeah.
They just dropped it on a percentage basis like a week ago. I agree. A show of good faith would be actually responding to the letters that the top players have written. Let's start there. Let's start with actually acknowledging that, a base level of respect for hey, we have an issue. Would you like to talk about it? Sure, I would.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else. You know what else is not good faith? That all four of the majors do this to various degrees. Let's be clear. These players want more money. They don't give a shit about capital improvements and we're having fresh sushi in the players' lounge and we're resurfacing court. They want more prize money. So trying to pass this off, and the U.S. Open, I think, is probably guilty number one of this. Saying we have new exercise balls and we're putting all this money into capital improvements, that's not what the players. That's literally like saying, I can't give you a raise this year, but good news, we're going to get new toner for the printers and all the offices. So give the players a little more money, come to the table in good faith, and maybe this goes away. But I'm looking here. So a first round loser in Rome makes $21,000, about $25,000. That's 25% of what a first round loser at some of the majors makes. So the idea that the players are going to bypass the four most lucrative tournaments, who are paying in some cases 4x.
I think you'd only have to do it once.
What a Masters.
Yeah.
The what?
As I said, I think you guys are talking about this and the bosses and give me a raise, and all I can think of is Randy Quaid from National Lampoons, walking in, bringing Clark Griswold's boss into the living room when he didn't get his Christmas bonus.
Man, that is a deep pull, my friend.
Thank you. All right, Mike, we got anything else?
That's it.
Hey, listen, I'm happy you all listened this far.
Yeah.
Rome recap next week. What do we got going on before the French Open? Draw show, all the stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. Sign up for the bracket challenge, which you can go to servepodcast.com and find
wide
bracket
open, by the way.
up at the top.
Like obviously everyone's gonna pick Sinner, but like up until then,
It's gonna be good.
wide open.
It's gonna be good.
Who do you take? Hodar and Djokovic, third round. JW, just think about that and let's wish it into reality.
Sorana Cirstea.
Let's do it. All right, it'll be busy next week in the lead up to Roland Garros. We cannot wait, and obviously during Roland Garros, we will have quick service for you every day. So let's start ramping this thing up. We should stretch before we sprint. Thanks for watching Served, brought to you by ServiceNow. We will see you soon.
Hodar.
Red Eye. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.